We've tried to look at the world through a straw and say, oh, I want conversions, give me conversions, a lot of conversions. And remember, if the audience is not in a do state, they're in see and think states, then to measure conversions is idiotic. It's stupid.
Measuring every moment that matters is critical to your success. One thing that we know is that using last-click measures alone is no longer sufficient. Consumers increasingly have different paths to purchase, and as advertisers, you have to take all of these paths into account. That could be people moving across devices before purchasing online. It could be people moving from the web to apps, or it could be people moving from the online to offline worlds to make a purchase in a store.
Quando a gente fala de mensuração no celular, a primeira coisa é que os formatos de mensuração são dos mais diversos possíveis. Eles são mais eficientes, porque você consegue saber exatamente que tipo de atividade que o usuário está fazendo, e ele é em tempo real. Então, vou te dar alguns exemplos. Geração de leads, ligações para sua empresa, comportamento cross-device, o tipo de conversão móvel e ainda coisas como o download do seu aplicativo, visitas à loja, visitas ao site, engajamento do usuário dentro de suas plataformas.
Analytics plays a very key role in making good decisions about our mobile strategies. At the moment, if you actually simply put the standard Google Analytics tag on your desktop website and repeat it just on the mobile site, the same exact tag, it will collect all the data that you need.
For most e-commerce companies, what we would find is that people were still using your last-click online sale measures to understand and value mobile. But mobile impacts so much more.
If we're doing advertising on YouTube, or if we're actually uploading content on Facebook, then that's usually in a see and think stage. So how should we measure success? Conversion is a poor way to measure success. And so what we've started to measure for see audiences are things like shift in brand perception, the likelihood to recommend, conversation, amplification, applause. Those are like really powerful metrics that say, this audience does not have commercial intent. We're engaging with them as a telecommunications provider through this content. Here's how we're going to measure success. When it comes to the think audiences, it's like there's somebody who has weak commercial intent. They may want to go on a vacation a few weeks from now. They may want to buy a new shirt, pants, underwear at some point. Oh, how do we measure success? Oh, we use assisted conversions. We used various other metrics to measure success for think audiences. And for the do audiences, we can still measure conversion, but we can be smarter and say, we'll measure conversion rate, but we also measure other elements of success, like people downloading our mobile app.
Esse comportamento multitelas do consumidor, cross-device, ele é um grande desafio na hora de atribuir valor para o mobile. A gente consegue fazer isso muito bem hoje no desktop, saber o impacto e tudo isso, mas no mobile tem grandes desafios. O quanto o mobile influenciou uma venda que aconteceu no desktop. Então muitas empresas, na hora de dar o valor para mobile, elas pensam quanto elas investiram em mobile e quanto foi gerado de vendas em cima dessa mídia que foi investida, né? Então, se eu investir R$1 milhão em anúncios em mobile e eu gerei 10 mil vendas com um ticket médio de 100 e eu gerei R$1 milhão em mobile, talvez alguém pense, não faz sentido, se eu investir 1 e conseguir 1, então talvez o mobile não valha a pena. Será que isso está certo?
É que nem jogo de futebol. Atribui o valor ao jogador que dá o passe. Porque só o melhor passe é que vai permitir com que haja o melhor gol.
Então, dar o valor correto para mobile é pensar um pouco nessa analogia. É pensar no jogador de futebol, no artilheiro, que é aquele que marca o gol, e no outro que dá o passe.
E aí os ROIs, né, os retornos sobre o investimento, são diferentes. Levei pessoas para a loja, fiz pessoas fazerem test drive, conheceram o meu produto, experimentaram o meu produto, responderam uma pesquisa e, por que não, também compraram aquele produto.
Então, se a gente pensar na conta correta que tem que ser feita em mobile, levando em consideração aquelas microconversões, que são aquelas diversas formas de interagir com o mobile que geram valor para o seu negócio, a gente faz uma conta um pouco diferente. Aquele R$1 milhão também gerou 15 mil vendas cross-device. Cross-device são aquelas compras que acontecem em diferentes devices, por exemplo, vi no mobile, comprei no desktop. Também geramos 14 mil vendas por telefone. Consumidores foram impactados pela campanha, clicaram no telefone e ligaram para concluir sua compra. E tivemos 4 mil downloads de aplicativos que resultaram em compras futuras. Então, todas essas microconversões geraram 43 mil vendas influenciadas por mobile, que nos dá um retorno de 4,5 milhões de reais. Então, se, por exemplo, uma empresa investe R$1 milhão em mobile, ela olha não só para o resultado gerado de vendas de mobile, mas olha para um espectro maior, que inclui a quantidade de vendas em cross-device, a quantidade de ligações recebidas, a quantidade de vezes que as pessoas que clicaram para ver onde é a loja e foram à loja, ou que baixaram o app, esse valor inteiro da equação muda completamente de cenário e aquele 1 milhão de investimento em reais pode ser alguma coisa completamente diferente.
Quando eu falo do processo inteiro de compra, que o celular participa de todo o processo, para cada momento, para cada microconversão daquele processo de compra, eu tenho que atribuir um valor, porque sem aquilo eu não teria impactado determinada percepção.
Quando a gente olha o modelo de atribuição, o que a gente está tentando fazer? Olhar a jornada do consumidor e dar valor para cada uma das fases desse processo. Então a pessoa viu um anúncio na TV, a pessoa viu um anúncio no rádio, fez uma busca, voltou, foi para um site, leu a notícia, viu um anúncio, e a gente entender qual que é o valor de cada um desses pedaços da jornada do consumidor e falar, isso vale tanto, então tem que investir mais ou investir menos, porque afinal de contas ele impacta mais ou menos a venda no final.
Like anything, attribution modeling is a complex exercise. It just requires a lot of different thinking and involvement from many different people. But I try to suggest a very simple sort of 5-step process that you can use to get through it. The very first thing I recommend people do is in Google Analytics, in our overview report, we have this really amazing Venn diagrams. And start by showing those Venn diagrams to your senior leader. Because what it says is, every channel is not by itself. It has these overlapping circles in it. And it just gives the business leader a really cool view that says, here's how all the channels play together. And look, already organic and paid search have this big overlap. That means these two teams that are sitting separately need to sit together. So that Venn diagram is a really good step one to say, here is a way that let's start the discussion in our company about what changes we need to make to org structure, the way people are organized. So assisted conversions report is a good next step because it doesn't touch attribution modeling, it doesn't touch any of that thing. It just says, hey, we have assisted conversions plus last click conversions, and that this is how Facebook should change, this is how display should change, this is how search. Very simple, because a standard report doesn't require you to understand anything about attribution modeling. It's the next best step. That's step number 2. And then step number 3 is to go start using the attribution models that are standard inside Google Analytics. So we have 5, remember? So start with the time decay, ignore the rest of them. Say, all my reports say last click, I'm going to add time decay. On the last column, you will see in green will be numbers of how much spend you should increase in certain channels. In red, decrease. In gray, neutral. Simple. And it says, hey, change your portfolio. That's the 3rd step. The 4th step is to do custom attribution modeling. And it says, you actually figured out all the basic stuff. Now you can go in and put your own variables into it and make the model smarter. So for example, my model, I have a Avinash mind-blowing attribution model on my blog. It says, hey, here's how I think about the world. It doesn't say this is the perfect way to think about it. Here's how I think about the world. And it uses a modified version of time decay. But what it does is it says, if a touch point, if a marketing channel delivered somebody who spent more time on the website, I will give them more credit, rather than a touch point where people came and bounced. Because in time decay, both of those would get the same credit. And I'd say, I don't like that. Also, I'll say, I want my model to go back 90 days instead of 30 days. And so I've created these things and then published the model. You can download it from my blog, right? So easy. So that makes you even less wrong. And then what you do is you just on this quest to say, I will keep using new information, new knowledge to be less wrong every day. And if you create a culture inside your company that's solving for that, you're going to do fine. And then step number 5 is to do controlled experiments, what we call media mix modeling. Is the most advanced way to start doing attribution modeling across online and offline. So it uses controlled experiments and it says, I will model not only what is happening digital, but I'm going to include TV, I'm going to include radio, billboards. I'm going to take into account brand awareness by channel. I'm going to do these really sophisticated things and use media mix modeling in order to figure out how to optimize my entire marketing portfolio, not just digital. And that's step number 5. The approach people will say is that, oh my God, I can see the moon. I would like to go to the moon. Greatest attribution model in the world today. But what they don't realize is they don't have a functioning toilet in their house. And it's like, wait, right? Build a functioning toilet, then wall, then roof, then bicycle, then car, then rocket, then moon, right? So you can see how you go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly you become more sophisticated as a company. Not only do you become sophisticated analytically, but the cool thing is you make people around you smarter. Like you make sure that there are structures and people and PhDs when you need them at the right place. So you slowly get to the moon. And the reality is while you do it in a stepwise way, you will actually get to the moon faster rather than just falling down like a million times before you figure out what you should do next. So the biggest mistake people make with mobile measurement isn't that they pick the wrong metrics. We've talked enough about how to pick the right metrics, is that they have a terrible mobile strategy. I strongly encourage people to understand that mobile platforms are really good at see and think. If your strategy is see and think for mobile, you're going to win. If your strategy is do, you will win smaller, not fail. You will win smaller. And subsequently, the measures of success you will use will be see and think measures of success and not just do. The reason your strategy is terrible is you're doing the wrong thing and then measuring the wrong thing.
It's an amazingly exciting time in mobile. I think we're just scratching the surface. What's amazing about 2015, and I would imagine would be amazing about 2016, is that there's so much change. If I were talking to a young marketer today, I would say be absolute expert. Study yourself as a consumer. Understand what consumers want and have that insight about customer behavior. I think ads will follow. I think great experiences will follow, but it's about that insight about what we want when we're on our phone, how we engage when we're on our phone, and the things that are not yet offered today.
William Gibson had a quote that I really like, which is, "The future is already here, just isn't evenly distributed yet." So a lot of the trends that we'll see in the future have already happened. They're just in small, isolated pockets. Now the tricky part is knowing which of those pockets to pay attention to and which ones not to.
This is really all about delivering relevant experiences. But to get it right, you need to do a lot of things. You need to get the right content. You need to have a mobile website, possibly a mobile app.
Um não substitui o outro. A gente ainda vive numa era de transição. Então é fundamental você poder trabalhar com as duas plataformas, porque você vai ter consumidores com uso diferente.
You need to think about the user experience and interaction. And importantly, you also have to integrate contextual signals like location and time of day to deliver relevant content.
From a mobile perspective, taking a desktop page and squeezing it into a long column just doesn't create a great experience.
When you land on the L'Oréal Paris USA website here, you open it on your phone, the first thing you will see is the weather where you are. You will see the weather, right? You will have the name of the city that you're in, where your phone is right now. And underneath it, this is brilliant, it will tell you what kind of makeup you should wear to look good in that weather. You just have an orgasm, right? So good! So good! He did nothing, right? He just landed the website. And yet they've thought so brilliantly. I was in Chicago, and he says, oh, it's cloudy today. Here's how to make your eyes pop. It's so good! That is what I want you to think about. Yes, make the experience better. Spend time thinking about the context that the customer is in, and then wow them.
São microconversões que têm um impacto macro na minha realidade.
Not surprisingly, I think it's still relevant that it all starts with the consumer. The first step is understand consumer behavior and you're going to win. That's the foundation for everything.
I asked a CMO of one of the largest banks in America the other day, if you could talk to me every single day, what would you say? And he said, oh, we will tell you about the changes in rates, we can tell you to get this other credit. Every day, it will get tiring very quickly. What would you say? He had no answer. He hadn't imagined that possibility, that he would have chance to talk to me every day, but he does. He does. What would you say? What would you do if you had that permission to be that close?